everybody, and welcome to the weekly scopes from the 19th to the 25th of May. Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's weekly scopes. If you've heard this before, you can skip, but this is just the intro on how I formulate these astrology weekly readings. I use astrology and my intuition to give you advice how you can practically use the knowledge of the stars and the planets and apply them to your life. So my weekly scopes are all based on GMT time and on Vedic Constellational Astrology. So now I'm just going to explain what Vedic Constellation Astrology is and how it differs from Western astrology. So the precession of the equinox is sort of like something that happens in astronomy and astrology, where the Earth's axis undergoes a slow circular motion over 26,000 years, and basically this means that this motion causes a shift in the position of the equinoxes and also the calculation Vedic and Western astrologies use. So around 2,000 years ago, the tropical and sidereal Vedic astrology signs of astrology were aligned in the same position. So if the sun was in Scorpio in Vedic astrology, it was also in the constellation of Scorpio in Western astrology. But because of the precession of the equinoxes, this has caused a gradual westward sort of like drift of the tropical Western signs. So basically these signs, the Western signs, shift 1 degree with every 72 years. So as a result of this ongoing shift, when Western astrology says the sun is in the constellation of Pisces, it's typically in the constellation of Aquarius. Still, this is because the degree, orb and the date for Western and Vedic astrology are 24 degrees, 24 days apart. So in Western astrology, the sun enters the constellation of Pisces around the 19th of February each year, but actually the sun doesn't arrive into the constellation of Pisces until the 13th to the 15th of March each year, and Vedic astrology takes this into account because it's based on the fixed star positions, and Vedic astrologers use sidereal calculations. So as a result, Vedic astrology takes into account the actual positions of the constellations in the sky at any given time, and also considers the precession of the equinox, adjusting for the shift in the position of the equinoxes over time. But in terms of Western astrology follows the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons rather than fixed star positions. Western astrologers also do not directly account for the precession of the equinox in their calculations as well, so this results in slightly different calculations and interpretations that are given whether we're using Western astrology or Vedic astrology. So yeah, as I said, Western astrology uses specific dates. So every year, regardless of where the sun actually is at the sky, the sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February. So yeah, this discrepancy, this misalignment between the tropical zodiac and the actual positions of the constellations has led to a discrepancy between Vedic astrology and Western astrology. So I consider the actual where the sun and the moon are and where Mars and Venus are at any given time, and this is how I formulate these sort of like weekly scopes. So yeah, thanks for listening to this, and let's dive into this week's weekly scope. So we've got a few aspects influencing us this week. We've got Venus making a parallel, which is the same as a conjunction, remember, to Uranus. This entered on the 13th of May, is exact on the 19th of May at 9:07 p.m, and it leaves us on the 26th of May. The Sun makes a semi-square to Mars, and this entered on the 16th of May, strongest influence on the 21st of May, and it's going to leave us on the 26th of May as well, and the Sun's in Taurus, and Mars is in the constellation of Pisces. Venus is making a parallel to Jupiter, and this entered on the 15th of May, is exact on the 22nd of May, and going to affect us right up until the end of the month, and leaves us on the 31st of May at 11:54 p.m. Mars makes a parallel to the Moon's North Node, which is the same as a conjunction. It entered on the 17th of May, is exact on the 23rd of May at 5:26 p.m. and leaves us on the 29th of May at 6:48 p.m. And as you know, war times are in GMT and it's based on constellational Vedic astrology. Oh, I forgot one. Mars also makes a contraparallel, so this is the same as an opposition to Saturn. So this is part of the Mars-Saturn conjunction. I've got a separate audio one, but yeah, this entered on the 19th of May, exact on the 25th of May, and leaves us on the 31st of May at 11:46 p.m. So Venus's parallel to Uranus brings assignment to our week, can bring unexpected opportunities for love, creativity and financial windfalls, or just feeling abundant within yourself, or being grateful for what you have in life. On the negative end, it can lead to impulsive decisions in relationships or overspending, and this can cause disruptions in our sense of stability, or it may actually, you may feel the urge to spend all your money that you need to pay your bills, cost of living and stuff on fun, and in the moment you may be like, yeah, it's a good idea, but you'll regret it later. So the best use of this energy is to embrace change with an open heart, explore new creative plans and unconventional relationships. So, put a bit of ooh la la into your life. It is the summer, and summer's associated with love, and if you want a song for that, then we have Lono. Summer of Love, it's an old UK garage song, but you may like it. So yeah, the Sun makes a semi-square to Mars as well. So the Sun's in Taurus, Mars is in Pisces, so this can signify a class of energies, because Taurus is like a fixed earth sign, and Pisces is mutable water sign. So on the positive end, this can drive determination and provide a boost of assertiveness, so you can tackle life challenges head on. But negatively, it can make us more stubborn, bring up conflicts, because we have differences in approaches and desires. So people may be like, oh, I want to do this, but someone else is like, no, I want to do that, or it's better to do it this way, and then how we can be. So the best use of this energy is to combine the steadfastness of Taurus and the compassion from Pisces to navigate obstacles that come up with grace and understanding this week. Venus's parallel to Jupiter is like a good aspect, it brings harmony, adds to the abundance and optimism in relationships and finances. Can add to us, sort of like overspending this week, so just watch out for that. It amplifies, impulsiveness that I was talking about earlier with the Venus parallel Uranus aspect. Mars' parallel to the Moon's North Node can give us a sense of purpose, and it motivates us towards, achieving our goals this week, going after our destiny, reaching our highest potential, looking after our overall health and well-being. But it can also add to the impatience, aggressiveness and going after our growth, and the friction that can come up this week with others. So the best use of this energy is to, put it into productive actions and words, things that are going to uplift your life and others by, just providing peace while staying mindful of collaboration with others effectively. So yeah, hold your boundaries this week, be assertive, go after what you want, but respect other people's needs to do so as well. And instead of working against each other, other people, just think about how can I work with them. Yeah, I know some people can be narcs and stuff, but just try and do your best to keep the peace, especially in the workplace. And I don't mean be placid, I just mean, just pick your arguments wisely. Also, Mars makes a contraparallel to Saturn, so this brings a balance between being assertive and disciplined. It allows us to be strategic in our planning and, be focused in our efforts to go ahead with our goals. So it brings a nice grounding energy to this week as well. but there can also be challenges in expressing independence or handling authority, and this can lead to power struggles or feelings of restriction. So the best use of this energy is to work in a focused way towards achieving your goals and, overcoming obstacles with persistence, resilience and careful planning, but also watch out for burnout as well. And like I said, because this is, this aspect doesn't always happen, so I'm doing a separate video on it because it's a quite important influence. So yeah, on the 19th of May, Mars makes a quintal to Pluto, which is quintals, biquintals, subtle esoteric energy. Venus also enters Taurus, and the Moon enters its gibbous moon phase. The Moon's north node also goes stationary retrograde. Venus makes a parallel to Uranus, and the Sun also makes a sextile to Neptune. So there's a lot going on today, but there's a lot going on this week in general, to be honest. So Mars's quintile to Pluto can bring a subtle but intense focus and determination, so it empowers us to make significant changes. Negatively, it can create a potential for power struggles or conflicts if not handled with care. The best use of this energy is to channel it into creative and productive habits and actions, and to confront the challenges that come up head on rather than running away from them. Just being open to transforming, changing the areas of your life that can do with change. So yeah. Also, Venus entering Taurus brings stability and a sense of sensuality and appreciation of beauty and comfort, so really working well with that Venus parallel Uranus conjunction as well. But negatively, again, it can lead to overindulgence, stubbornness if not balanced wisely. So just make sure you don't ignore red flags, check the details, but just allow yourself to be open to feelings of romance and self-love. The best use of this energy is date night, self-care rituals, enjoying the pleasures of life, appreciating nature, gardening, stuff like that, cultivating gratitude for the abundance around you. In terms of the gibbous moon phase that happens also over the next 3 days, but starts on the 19th, it allows us to have that sort of refinement to change what needs changing, supports us in all growth opportunities. But negatively, it can make us feel and add to the impatience and restlessness of the week as well. The best use of this energy is to fine-tune your strategies and stay motivated to achieve your objectives. The Moon's north node going retrograde is just the energy where you may want to take some time out to pause and reflect on your life's direction and purpose. You can use this energy, and encourages us to revisit past lessons, reassess our goals and align with our soul's calling. Use this time to release old patterns holding you back and focus on personal growth and spiritual evolution. Also, we've got the Sun making a sextile to Neptune. So again, this helps us with our creativity, our spirituality, encouraging us to tap into our creative abilities and trust in our inner guidance, and just engage in acts of self-compassion and empathy towards ourselves and others as well, allowing yourself to be open to the mystical, more spiritual aspects of life, explore your dreams, do some journaling, and connect with the deeper meanings behind your actions, your words and your life patterns, and allow yourself to blend reality with imagination, and this can lead to profound insights on the things you need to heal, the things you need to understand about yourself, and the themes of your life as well, and what patterns are good for you, what patterns you need to break out of. But negatively, with all Neptune energy, we can escape. People can be more manipulative and deceptive. We may want to be tricked and lied to as well, and fall into illusions, and doing all we can to escape from reality as well. So with this energy, it's best to find a balance between being creative and being practical to avoid getting lost in fantasy. Stay grounded while still being open to and exploring your spiritual side as well. On the 20th of May, we've got the moon making a conjunction to the moon's north node, exact at 4:59 a.m. The moon entering Libra at 12:05 p.m. The sun making a semi-square to the moon's north node at 12:27, and the sun making a quintal to Saturn. So this is a subtle esoteric energy. So positively, Mars' conjunction to the moon's north node helps us with being more motivated and determined. Negatively adds to the impulsiveness of the week I've already talked about, and there can be conflict that comes up because of the tension that people may feel. So it's just wise to just channel any extra pent up energy into exercise, making love, or anything else that lets you release, your excess energy in consented and productive ways. So in terms of the moon entering Libra, it helps us work on our relationships, bring in more harmony and cooperation into them as well, so reduces the conflict that Mars' semi-square to the moon's north node sort of like creates, but it can make us indecisive and seeking validation from outside of ourselves instead of looking within. It can make us superficial in our relationships, and the best use of this energy is to be social, reduce conflict, try and work with others as well, be creative as well. The sun semi-square to the moon's north node allows us to have more clarity. It gives us the opportunity to self-reflect and align our actions and words with our true wants and needs at this time as well. But also, it can make it hard negatively for us to confront ourselves, and be honest about the things that we need to change to grow, because our ego can clash with our higher purpose right now, and this can cause inner conflicts. The best use of this energy is to use it to understand how you can align your actions with your long-term goals, embrace any opportunities that are presented to you right now, even if they come with initial discomfort, even if it's like, oh, you're dragging me out of my comfort zone. Just be open to the things people say and suggest right now. Obviously be safe and all of that as well, and just take bold steps, courageous steps to being who you really want to be. It supports us in finding more inner harmony, being authentic, and preferring that, to get our validation from within rather than rely on external validation, because it's always fleeting. We may feel good in the moment when other people praise us, tell us how good we are and all the rest of it, but then we can crave more and more and more of external validation if we don't ever give it to ourselves as well. So just look into ways you can love yourself more and forgive yourself for past mistakes, and just be more open to loving yourself even though you're not your best self yet, if that is the case for you. The sun's quintal to Saturn allows us to be creative and disciplined as well. It encourages us to infuse our plans with structure and perseverance, and this can lead to results that we can see, tangible achievements as well. So the best use of this energy is to embrace it and channel your artistic creative vision into practical manifestations. So good for creators, writers, content creators, whatever. And right now, it also allows your work to speak for itself. So some of you may create your masterpiece right now under this influence if you're willing to keep on working at it as well. And it allows us to sort of like honour the balance between being innovative and following traditions well. And just remember, although life's journey is filled with discomfort, if we embrace the cosmic energies pushing us to take bold steps to live our best lives, then this can lead us closer to achieving the things that we want to sort of like achieve. On the 25th of May, the sun makes a semi-square to Mars, the moon enters via combustion as well. So it's sort of like a dynamic energy that can lead to increased motivation and assertiveness as well. It brings extra vitality and passion and determination, and allows us, supports us in starting those new projects and confronting what needs to be confronted, but also can add to the passive aggressiveness, irritability and impatience of the week. Some of you under this transit may start a new routine or launch a new business, but it's as I said, it's be mindful of being too overly aggressive, because the moon by combustion adds to the emotional sensitivity and volatility, which can add to misunderstandings. To escalate could be a small thing, someone could take your parking spot, and I know a lot of us get crazy when that happens, but just give them grace. One of my favourite sayings is, one day you're the dog and one day you're the lamppost. So one day you're the one who's doing the peeing in others, and the other time they're doing it to you, So yeah, the best use of this energy is to practice self-awareness and emotional regulation, checking in with yourself, doing all you can to understand your emotions and release them in a stable way as well. By sort of like staying grounded and being open to clear communication, you can, really tap into just really being honest with yourself about what it is you want on the emotional level, maybe listening to others about what they need, giving each other the time and space to actively listen to each other. And this is the best way to handle the conflict that comes up right now, rather than just make it blow all out of proportion, and 1 minute you're having a nice day and the next minute the whole day's ruined, sort of thing, On the 22nd of May, the moon enters void of course. Venus makes its exact parallel to Jupiter that I talked about at the start at 3:45 p.m. The Sun makes a trine to Pluto at 4:14 p.m. and the moon enters Scorpio at 10:26. So yeah, the Sun's trine to Pluto can be a powerful and transformative time. This aspect signifies a harmonious flow of energy between the Sun, that represents our identity and vitality, and Pluto, that symbolises regeneration and deep transformation. So positively, it can empower us, supports us in making breakthroughs in our personal growth and self-realisation, also in our relationships as well, if you direct it that way. It encourages us to dig deep into our inner workings, uncovering hidden truths and unlocking our potential for empowerment and rebirth. On the flip side, the intense energies associated with this transit, with this energy, can bring power struggles, control issues and obsessions. So it's essential to be mindful of not getting consumed by power dynamics, or becoming overly fixated on control. The moon entering Scorpio sort of like embodies themes of depth, passion and transformation. It invites us to explore our emotional depths and embrace vulnerability in a profound way. It can increase intuition, where we are tuned to our innermost feelings and subconscious urges. It's sort of like, when combined with the Sun's trine to Pluto, remember Pluto or Scorpio, so in esoteric astrology, Mars also calls it as well, and in traditional astrology, Mars was the natural ruler of Scorpio. But anyway, so it allows us to have emotional breakthroughs through inner work, shadow work. We can find ourselves more willing to confronting deep-seated emotions and undergoing changes, starting or continuing the work of changing our emotional landscape. It can be a profound time of healing and empowerment if we're open to it, by tapping into our emotional depths and embracing transformation. We can emerge stronger and more self-aware. It's a time for shedding old patterns that no longer serve you and stepping into your personal power with more clarity and authenticity. And just make sure it's important to stay grounded and centered right now, allowing yourself to dig into emotions, be open to other people doing the same without becoming overwhelmed by them. Just keeping in mind when people are doing your head in and stuff, that these power dynamics and control issues that can come up right now, although we can lose our mind and act out, be aggressive or passive aggressive, say words that we'll regret later. We can also use these opportunities as a chance to transform these situations into sources of empowerment and self-awareness. It wants us to, have a willingness to confront what lies beneath the surface with compassion and more self-awareness through embracing this vulnerability and exploring our emotional depths, and digging deep into our inner shadows. We can emerge stronger and more authentic on the other side. So on the 23rd of May, Venus makes a conjunction to Jupiter at 9:27 a.m. Venus is at sextile to Neptune is at 11:51 a.m. There's a full moon at 2:53. And that's in Libra. Venus makes a semi-square to the moon's north node, and Mars makes a parallel to the moon's north node. I talked about that at the start at 5:26 p.m. and Jupiter makes a exact sextile with Neptune at 10:44. So I've done a separate audio on the full moon, so if you want to check it out, it'll be on the playlist. Venus's conjunction to Jupiter brings abundance to, we're coming to the end of the week now. It can amplify a feeling of harmony and generosity, making us overcome the challenges we experience this week. But again, it can add to overindulgence and extravagance and people overlooking the practicalities of life. The best use of this energy is to expand your social connections, start new relationships or business ventures, studies, spiritual practices, and just indulge, do things that promote growth and well-being. So, for example, some of you during this transit may find success in expanding your network or attending social events or investing in opportunities that align with your values, or tools, maybe a new laptop, phone or book that can help you, grow. Venus's sextile to Neptune increases creativity, compassion and spirituality in our relationships and personal expression. It favours a deep sense of empathy and understanding, but there can be a tendency towards idolising people and situations, and this can lead to potential delusionment or confusion if not grounded in reality. The best use of this energy is directed into spiritual practices or acts of kindness towards others. So, for example, some of you under this influence may find peace, solace and inspiration in creating art, dancing, singing, walking barefoot, hugging trees, whatever it is that reflects your emotions, or volunteering for a charitable cause that resonates with you, or just giving to each other, just to other people. And if you are in a relationship, then giving to each other, good for date night, romance and stuff. And we've also got Venus's semi-square to the moon's north node. So again, some of you may experience old lovers coming back, old friends, other karmic kind of fainted experiences can happen right now that can have sort of like a transformative effect in your relationships. It can lead to a deeper understanding of past patterns. It can help you align with your true path, but negatively adds to the craziness and emotional intensity that can be this week with, because the moon's in Scorpio and all the other things I've mentioned as well. So just use this energy to heal relationships and focus on resolving karmic ties or addressing underlying emotional wounds. So, for example, some of you influenced by this transit may benefit from exploring past connections and making conscious choices to let them go or to move forward with, old friends or lovers. It's not always a good idea. People haven't changed, and change is hard, remember that. And, then sometimes it's not best to revisit, but sometimes we revisit old things because we need to just learn the lesson, and until when we learn that lesson, unfortunately, the patterns just keep on repeating. So this energy, whatever happens now, just look at it and just think, do I really want to do this? What do I need to learn from this situation? Has this person really changed? Have I changed? Is it going to work again? Sort of things may help you, make the best use of this energy. So ultimately, it's a time to pay attention to synchronicities and serendipitous encounters that hold valuable lessons for the future. By embracing transformative energy that this transit brings, you can make way for deeper connections with yourself and others and just come more alignment with your true life purpose. Also, Jupiter makes a sextile to Neptune, so again, it just works with giving us the energy to be more empathetic, intuitive, be more generous to ourselves and others, connect to our sense of purpose. Again, negatively, we can get lost in sort of like escaping, so it's ideal to find a balance between being idealistic and being practical right now as well, because there can be a tendency to get lost in dreams without grounding them in reality, and this can lead to you feeling disillusioned, like, oh, I've had enough of life and sort of thing like that. So the best use of this energy is to be open to change and delve into higher meanings and your spiritual sort of like connection, and just do everything you can to imagine, envision a brighter future and take practical steps towards realising it. So good for planning how you want, what are your dreams, what do you really want, and how can you manifest them. Okay, on the 24th of May, the moon leaves high combustion at 2:35 am, Venus makes a quintile to Saturn at 4:02, Jupiter makes a semi-square to the moon's north node at 8:53, Mars makes a semi-sextile to Saturn at 5:23 p.m, and the moon enters void of course at 7:37 p.m. So when the moon leaves by combustion, it signifies a shift from emotional intensity to be more stable. We can just have more of a sort of sense of having clarity, and this can make us make better decisions. So this week you've been, indecisive, especially with the Libra moon energy as well, the full moon in Libra and stuff. So, this kind of provides the ground for us to, have smoother interactions with ourselves and others and understand ourselves, and we just feel less turbulent if you have been feeling emotional. Venus's quintile to Saturn combines the energy of love and responsibility, so it just helps us to find joy in our responsibilities and obligations, have more enthusiasm and dedication in our casual and hookup relationships. For example, some of you can find deep satisfaction right now in fulfilling your commitments, both professionally and personally, doing things for others, helping a co-worker, making your lover feel special, or receiving, because a lot of the time we can find it hard to receive love as well. So just you being willing to receive love under Venus quintile Saturn, even though it's a subtle energy. Jupiter's quintile to the moon's north node just supports us in going after new opportunities and doing things that are in alignment with our highest purpose. Mars' semi-sextile to Saturn sort of like encourages us to apply focused effort towards achieving our goals. Some of you may choose to diligently focus on a project that requires precision and perseverance, and doing this, focusing what, getting what you need to get done right now done can lead to success in the long run. So today's energy sort of like, bring a transition from emotional intensivity to embracing responsibilities with joy. And, if we're open to navigating challenges that come up, then we can just become more in alignment with our true selves, and, just feeling more at peace in sharing and receiving love. And on the 25th of May, Saturday, the moon enters Sagittarius at 6:06 am. Mars makes its exact contra-parallel with Saturn. I talked about that earlier. Venus makes its trine to Pluto at 12:16. Mercury makes its semi-sextile to the moon's north node at 5:37 p.m. And Mercury makes a semi-square with Neptune at 7:31 p.m. So the moon in Sagittarius can bring fun and excitement to the weekend. We can be open to adventure and being curious, especially in the realms of our emotions. The best use of this energy is to embrace being spontaneous and expand your horizons, but negatively it can add to the restlessness and recklessness of the week. And as I said earlier, Mars' contra-parallel to Saturn wants us to find a balance between taking action and exercising patience and perseverance. So, you can use this energy to reflect on your week, reflect on the year, when you're halfway there now. Whether your New Year's in January or March, are you in alignment with the goals that you set then? Are you doing the things that make your heart sing and that are in alignment with your true self? And if you're not, coming up with a plan can be a really good use of your time this weekend. Venus is trine to Pluto, again supports us having personal growth through intimacy and self-discovery. It helps us with deepening our emotional connection with ourselves and others, but negatively it can make us more possessive and bring struggles in our relationships if we're not open and honest. So, be open and honest, speak your mind. Mercury, semi-sextile to the moon's north node, brings a period of communication and healing, wants us to learn and do things that align with our soul purpose and future growth, encourages us to speak our truth, say ideas that resonate with our higher path, and engage in meaningful conversations that support our evolution. So it's a good energy to network, seek knowledge and explore new perspectives that are different from yours, being open-minded, and this can help you move more forward in alignment with your destiny. But negatively it can bring misunderstandings and add to the deception of the week as well. So just be cautious about misinformation. Fact check. Do not, especially in this, in the world of the internet and everything like that. Always double check. I'm not saying that everything you read is not true, but just double check your information. And watch out for being unclear and thinking, and other people being the same as well. People can be more idealistic and say what other people want to hear, but it may not be truth. So just watch out for that, as I said. And it's important to seek clarity right now, practice good judgment, stay grounded in reality, and avoid making important decisions based on illusions or wishful thinking. So yeah, that was the weekly scopes from the 19th to the 25th of May.